Hello, 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 and thank you for coming along today. So I'm just trying to get my camera a little bit straight. Thank you all for coming. We have 43 people here. Thank you all for a few beers with STST. We have a couple of great guests this evening. Privileged to have them as the first two guests to have some beers with me. We'll say hello to those two in a second, but first of all, let's see who's in the chat. Martin H, hello mate, I hope you are well. Tusk, Gary IOU, I always say that, IOW. That's because I owe a lot of people a lot of things. Dumb Jezza, Mr. 42, Crafty Keeler, Nalpinion, the Snark. Hello to you all and good to see you. Mace Windex, hello, hello. First stream I caught in a while. Thank you, and I hope you come to catch a few more. We have Baldy Cats in the chat. Ironically, actually, we have his brother with us tonight, Conspiracy Cats, or I hope so. He may have done an evil swap. 9 o'clock hero, hello. Science it out. Inquisitor Bacon, hello to you all. So let's see who we do have as guests for this evening. We have Ranty, otherwise known as Flurfspective. And we also have Catz. Hello.
Evening. Evening.
Hello.
How are we? I see Catz has got his beer ready.
I have. What you on there, mate?
Yes. I'm on San Miguel. What about you?
Nice. I'm on the Beck's Blue, actually, the minute. On the Beck's Blue. So, yeah, but I'll switch that to something a little bit stronger later on, like Coca-Cola or something. But there we go.
Beer's a beer. Beer's a beer.
Beer's a beer.
I'm on the Rona.
Oh, I like it. Very topical, mate.
Yeah. Nice. I was tempted, actually, so that was nearly a double catch there, that we nearly both had a bit of a Corona.
Yeah, but mine's I've got extra Corona.
It's just a bigger bottle.
Yeah. Extra good Corona. Oh, wicked. So glad you guys came along. I mean, a few months ago, this conversation probably wouldn't have been happening, would it?
Probably not.
Well, I'd say a few months. I'd say a few months. Yeah, it's been a little bit longer. But I must say, I am jealous of your two's podcast. I think it is absolutely brilliant.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun.
The Almost Unbelievable Paranormal Podcast. I'll give it a shout out. Yeah.
There you go. Get the plug in.
Get the plug in.
We've got to.
It's been fun.
We started that.
As with your. Go on.
Sorry, go on, Catz. Go on, Catz.
No, it's my internet. It's a bit slow and laggy. I'm sure I've just spoken over you, though. You crack on.
No, I was just going to say, we started it at the end of November. And, we've had season 1. It's finished. It's done. We've been nominated for award. So that's really good. And we'll see how that goes. Be nice to win it. But even if we don't win it, we can, maybe get some feedback, perhaps. But I think it's good. I think we stand up to the rest of them, don't we, Catz?
I think so. And if we don't win it and they try and give us feedback, I'll just tell them to piss off. I don't want the feedback if we're not winning it. Screw them. Bloody idiot. If we don't win it, who are we being judged by people that don't think our podcast is... No, I'm kidding, obviously. It's been great fun, though. We've met some really nice people. It's been great. And your history channel, like... I was shouting out new creative things. Your history. I know all your subscribers are aware of it. Part of history, probably linked in the description. Go and check it out. But it is awesome.
Oh, mate, thank you so much. It's nice to be kind of recognised for efforts that are put in, isn't it? If you know what I mean. So it's nice. So thank you so much there. I must admit, like when I first sort of heard you two were doing a podcast, I was thought, how on earth is this going to work? I can't imagine the dynamic, but it's absolutely brilliant. Like, it was perfect how you started. like you said from the start, you both said you're not going to mention flat Earth. There's nothing to do with flat Earth. You know, so it just shows you, even with different beliefs, people can still get on. You know, you don't, just because you believe something else at one point doesn't mean that you can't actually be friends in real life, does it? I think we still put too many barriers in front of each other, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, live and let live, shall we say. But yeah, I was gutted at first. I was like, how did he ask Ranty and not me? I was like, I can't believe it. See, the beers are flowing, the honesty's coming out now.
The honesty's coming out now, that's it. Well, to be honest, maybe if it had been the other way around, you wouldn't have saved Catz from becoming a flat earther like I did. You know, there was a couple of months ago, he was wavering. He was literally on the fence. He nearly went down the rabbit hole himself, I'm telling you. And I had to bring something to his, you know, I saved him with the image.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was close call there for a while. It really was. I remember I kicked over a glass of water and it kind of like over the kitchen floor, and I thought, oh my God, I've been wrong all along. Look at the water.
Especially when it started running uphill.
Yeah. Oh, now it's finding its own level. Oh my God. But I mean, really, water does do that, doesn't it? It does kind of find its own level, but that level just happens to follow the curvature of Earth. Do you know what I mean? Like,
funny enough, something happens to make water move towards the surface of the ground. You know, it's odd that, isn't it? You know, but I love that argument. I really do. Someone was getting to me on Twitter today, only a friendly way, nice guy, and they were mentioning water, and they said they were trying to talk about the way you perceive the world, and do you really perceive it as a globe, and they said, well, explain your evidence for the Earth being a globe. And I said, well, look, this is Twitter. I've got 150 characters. Why don't you tell me what's wrong with the evidence for the Earth being a globe? And then I know you understand it. And his response to that was basically, blah, 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 maths, level water. That was it. Goodbye. I was like, okay, fair enough. But they do like the level water comments, don't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Big time, big time. I mean, Ranty, trying to think of, like, obviously, you know, remember obviously when I came out and had that sort of wink from Simon Dan. I've got to ask you, what were your sort of thoughts around that time when you did you think I was sort of in on it and buying subscribers, or
no, not at that time. No, what I thought was, and I think I don't know whether I was the only one that thought this, but I think there's a lot of other people that thought this too, that we thought that you kind of some plant that had, I don't know, made some random videos at some point, because to be honest, and I'm just going to be genuine, I hadn't actually heard of your channel, so I'd never actually seen you. And when you said,
not really.
it said flat earther becomes globe earther, and I just thought it looked so suspicious. It was like, I'm sure he's one of Cat's friends or something, or Simon Dan's friends, you know, and he's just made up a backstory to get him popular in the community, you know, and it was just, I don't know. I mean, that's what I was thinking, you know, I just, you know.
I get
conspiracy minded, you know.
Yeah. You're going to look for other things, aren't you? Yeah. So I can understand exactly why a lot of people thought that me and Catz are actually brothers and things. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Just because we're both
ridiculous. Why is that ridiculous? You're the spitting image of each other. Yeah. You could be twins.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, Catz, then, yeah. Could I have your channel, Baldy Catz, and just pretend to be you?
We could try that one day. See
if anyone notices. They might like you better.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. We've got a super chat there. Thank you so much, Muddy Boy, Cross Axel. 3 great guys under one digital roof. Bargain. Thank you. Thank you very much there. Excellent.
He looks like he's kitted up there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
No, I think actually he is. He does work in a hospital, I believe. But when I first looked at that, I was thinking like Chainsaw Massacre style or something. I was like, what's going on here? But
that's not what I meant, by the way. It was right, like...
No.
No, it looks like he's been worked hard this last year, I'd imagine, with whatever he does. So well done to you.
Yes. I have actually had conversations with him, and I believe he has been very busy. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Hello, the Snark, mate. How are you? Who's your favourite ex-flat earther? We've got a song, but we've now got a new one. So obviously, I do have my own song on the favourite, but you know, Ranty's about now, so I've got
It could be.
That's why I
Jose.
released that video earlier. I was like, oh shit, Ranty's gonna, you know, become the most popular ex-flat earther. I've got to bloody try and make a new video. And I'm only joking, mate.
That's all right. I want you in my next. I want you in my next video anyway. I definitely want you. You know what I want you to do. You know what I want you to do, because I asked you a few days ago if you could do that, and you were going to do it, but you didn't get the time to do it. So it's definitely going to happen in the next one. It's a part of a sketch. So,
brilliant. Yeah, and that video, mate, was up to last I looked, that was up to about 1.4k views in like a day, and that's brilliant for the new channel.
That's crazy.
It's probably higher than that now.
I have no. Let me have a look. Let me have a look and see your channel. 1,700. 1,700. And I've gone.
It's not even 24 hours old yet.
No, it's not. In another 8 minutes, it will be. So I'm on 415 subscribers in less than 24 hours.
See, now you know how it works.
That's crazy. Do you know how long it took me to get 415 subscribers as a flat earther, and also appearing on Nathan Oakley's and releasing videos every day? About a year. It took about a year to get that.
Yeah, because that was I was only actually creating content as a flat earther for about 6 months, and I'd reached, I think, about 130 subscribers after 6 months. So yeah, it's a long slog, shall we say? But yeah, maybe I didn't do the experiment like you show in your video about, like, you know, how Dell just lifting up something and that more or less kickstarted his channel. You know, that was his gate guy, weren't it? Was like him just pouring water over a football, or
well, I have a very weird sense of humor, and this type of humor, this dry humor, that's just me all over. I mean, in the real world, especially with my friends and stuff, I'm always like this. You know what I mean? It's just who I am, and it came naturally. I wrote that script in about 3 hours. You know, the whole script was written in about 3 hours. Yeah. And took me about, I don't know, a day to put the video together. But yeah, it just like that all the time. You know, somebody will say something and I'll just be straight back at him, like, you know, with a quip or something, you know. I'm surprised I don't get punched in the mouth more often, actually.
We did have a super chat there from Tusk, and it is: has Ranty ever been mistaken for Bob Mortimer? I love that one.
Who said that before? Somebody said that to me in the real world recently as well.
Was it Vic Reeves?
No, it's somebody I was working with. No, somebody else working with. It asked me.
Oh, Bob, how's it going? It's like, I'm not Bob. We've got the plot hole here with $5. Thank you, mate. I have got to get the 3 of you in a plot hole skit. There's who's on first joke in here somewhere. Who's on first joke in here somewhere? I get you. Yep. I'm sure we can work something out. But then, as Mr. 42 pointed out earlier, I am terrible at getting back to people. Where is it? Is always forgetting requests. I think mine was 6 weeks ago and still a no-go. I'm just, honestly, I think if I could be more proactive on this channel, I could do so much better, to be honest. I've got to get back to people. But yeah. We'll do it though. I really did enjoy that episode. And it was like 18 minutes long, wasn't it, that video?
Oh,
and I was just like, yeah.
There was about, I think there was about 10 or 11 different skits, something like that, throughout the thing. And I listened to it about 3 or 4 times before I obviously released it. And every time I listened back to it, I was laughing myself. Yeah, all the way through. And I was thinking, oh, that's on the nose. Oh, that's funny, you know. And even the part about Bev, when I said about Bev, I said, and you can tell Bev's really happy about this, you know, and it's clear that he wasn't happy.
Using my son's image.
Just that dry humor. I love it. I love that dry humor.
Catz, just so you don't get sort of left out, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever weed in the shower?
Have I ever weed in the shower? You mean my own shower or just random other people's showers? Sometimes I like to go to someone's house and like. I think there's a lag. I'm gonna bob out in a minute. I'm gonna bob out and come back in because I think there's like a lag of about 30 seconds to me. I feel so. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna refresh my page and bob back in because I think there's a massive lag. Is that okay? I'll be back.
That makes sense.
That's proof that he's weed in the shower if ever there wasn't any, because he just done a runner.
He did. So. I saw that too. I was gonna tell a story, but then I bit my lip because I thought I can't tell that on TV or YouTube. I just can't do it. You know.
Do it. This is Beans. No, this is Beans time. Come on.
This can't be real. No, I couldn't dare.
Catz, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me? Is the lag gone? Am I speaking in time with you guys now?
Yep. You're perfect.
God. Oh, cool. Yeah, so have I ever peed in the shower? No. That's a good story, isn't it? No.
All right, well, I'll tell you what.
Need I say no?
I haven't peed in the shower, but I have at a friend's house.
What, just in the house? Like, not in the shower, just... You didn't pee in the shower, you just peed in the house like a dog. Which room am I sleeping in? This one? All right, I'll make it mine.
No, I was, how old was I? I was about 17, and we all got smashed round at my mate's house. And in the morning, when I got up, my mate told me, he said, my mum was talking to you last night. I said, was she? She says, yeah. She says, because you'd wandered around the house and you stood at the top of the stairs and you thought he was in the toilet and you just started pissing down the stairs. And my mum was at the bottom of the stairs saying, this isn't the toilet. And I said, yes, it is. I'm pissing all down the stairs.
Oh, my God. I've done that in
sleepwalking.
Sleep drunk walking,
basically, isn't it? Yeah. Sleep urinating, urinating, basically, like
And I had no idea till the morning, and I got told. I was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. You know.
Oh, can you think of any embarrassing stories like that, Catz? I'm trying to expose you tonight. Not like that.
Yeah, don't go and stand on the top of the stairs and show us. No, we don't want that.
I've done the whole, like, been in someone else's house and had a stinky dump in the toilet, and then the parents have come home, and as I'm coming up back, you know, I've done that, and they're like, oh God, the toilet stinks, and they're gonna know it's me. You know, maybe I should have flushed. Like, oh God, you know. But kidding.
I mean, I did that once. I'm sort of like, during the day, I'm like a carpet fitter. So, you know, I try my utmost to never ever go in a customer's house, if you know what I mean. Obviously, number one, but certainly number two is kind of like a cardinal rule. Like, you know, don't poo in someone's house, especially when they're there. But I got caught short one time. And I'd had a big curry the night before, and I was like, I cannot not go. I can't even drive anywhere. I won't make it, you know, and I just had to go. And I thought I got away with it. And then about like 15 minutes later, the woman sort of poked her head. I was like working on the landing. She poked her head up the stairs and was like, can you smell a dead rat? like this, and I was like, yeah, and I was kind of like, no, you know, and then it became obvious, you know, what had ensued. But yeah, cardinal rule is try not to do a poopy where you're working.
I think I can beat that one. I think I can beat that one, and it happened today actually. So I'm single, and I'm working in this house, and it's a mansion basically. I'm painting a house. It's a mansion, and there's a woman that comes there to do the cleaning. So she comes in doing the cleaning, and I've been talking to her over the past week and a half or two. You know, just sussing out things. You know. And she's really attractive, really nice, and she's single. So I'm thinking, yeah. So again, she's there today, and I'd had a curry last night, hadn't I? And you know, I did the most stinky, silent one ever. And then she walked out of the bedroom into the next bedroom, but she has to walk right past me, right? And I swear it stunk. It absolutely stunk. Right? And you know. She didn't speak to me after that. For the rest of the day.
You've ruined it.
Yeah, I think I've screwed it up there. Yeah,
You've ruined your chances.
I'm not surprised though. I mean, it absolutely stunk. I mean, she couldn't have anything like that in her life. I mean, come on. there's limits. There's limits to how much you're willing to accept.
We've got a comment here from Tusk saying, aimed at me, you never told me the story of how you let a child take the blame for a toilet incident. I've been waiting 6 months. I'll try and explain it now. Oh, Catz has gone again. Basically, I was on a sleepover, and I must have been, I don't know, about 17, you know, kind of getting to the point where you're starting to go out in town. So we'd gone back to a mate's house. I got up at, say, 3 a.m., laid something disgusting in the toilet, and it wouldn't flush, no matter how much I tried. And it was like, and I just left it in the end, and I was like, look, I'm just going to have to leave it. In the morning, I wake up, and his mum is like, who went to the toilet last night? And at the same time, his younger sister also had a sleepover, and she was, say, 12, and all her friends were 11, 12, 13. And one of them happened to say, oh, I did go to the toilet last night. And I just thought, keep your mouth shut. And yeah, so I let like a 11, 12-year-old girl take the blame for me blocking their toilet. That's what the actual story was there, Tusk. I can't remember how I started that and didn't finish it, but yeah.
So I've got about halfway through your video. I didn't actually notice you'd put a new video out until just 5 minutes before we went live. So tell us what about. I've seen the carpet part.
Yeah.
And it said, Flat Earther thinks a carpet proves flat Earth or something. I think that's what you've titled it. And I've got to the point where you've got some dodgy carpets, and they are trippy. But what's his point? Yeah. What's he trying to make?
Yeah, I mean, you know, on this sort of the azimuthal equidistant maps, he's basically bringing up the fact that the kind of curved lines, which will obviously represent a sphere on that type of projection, are there to actually make you think that the map is a globe rather than like a flat map. And I think, say, a guy, Bullet Bill, actually pointed out the only argument he would have there is if the Earth actually did have those grid lines that you could physically see with your own eyes, if you know what I mean, because it's only a map, you know, and we don't walk on maps, do we? So the observation was just ridiculous. But
hey,
yeah,
he's done some good one. He did one a couple of years ago about a fire and some smoke. Catz remembers that one.
I've only just got back in my. Oh yeah, are these flames defying gravity by going up? That's like half my videos. It's hilarious.
But so, you know, that is how a surfer mind will think. You know, you think that nothing can go up. I used to just think that myself. You know, how can I had that observation where like water pressure made the water kind of travel up the tap a little bit, and my head couldn't get you know, how can something else overcome gravity? And it's confusing to think that gravity is such a weak force or not. I don't know, and I actually don't care. It's real, but it's very weak. So there are other things, obviously, that overcome it.
Well, I mean, even that without excuse me, when you got something floating like a.
Sorry, mate. I think you're a little lagged behind a bit then, mate. Again, sorry. I've got a super chat from Matt Wotton. I did geography at GCSE, but my daughter chose history. Your Matthew Hopkins video let me have a really good chat with her about history as they're studying him now in class. Thank you, STST. Oh, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you. I know actually there is I have got a subscriber on here called Haunted Fate, and they are actually a history lecturer in America. And she said that she's actually played that to a class of like 90 students, you know, sort of like in a lecture. So I was like, wow, that's absolutely amazing. So Matt Wotton,
that is.
Thank you very much. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing what you'll believe being a flirth. It really is.
It is.
I was looking back at some of my observations, you know, today, basically, when I came home from work. Catz has gone again. and you know, I was presenting, you know, the buildings of Barrow. You know, sometimes I saw them all shore to shore. Other times I saw just the tops of them, let's say. But it was still beating the curve calculator, let's be honest. But the simple fact was, they were still behind a wall of water, right?
Yeah.
And I'm saying, look, flat Earth with the buildings half hidden by water. And I look back at some of the videos now. I'm looking at there's a load of videos still up there, and I'm looking and I'm thinking, it's like I've titled it "Absolute Proof of Flat Earth." Duh, with half the building hidden by water. You know, what the fuck was that?
That's why everyone used to obviously say you were the best. You were the best globe proof out there. Like you actually were doing some of the best research out there. But that's also why people respected you, I think, because you were making observations. If you know what I mean, it's okay for someone to sit there and just say, "Oh, the Earth's flat," but you know, you tested it and you kept doing it, and you know, a real scientist will eventually be able to say, "I'm wrong," if you know what I mean. And I know I've got the exact same mindset as you, where it took a lot longer to let go than probably your average person, if you know what I mean, because it felt so empowering maybe at the time to have that knowledge. But yeah, the things that people hold on to.
I think you're right though. With I've just switched browser, by the way, so hopefully maybe this browser won't lag as much. Let me know if it does. Apologise, but I think what you said there is really important. A real scientist will eventually come to a conclusion. What to me is missing. What a lot of flat earthers think. The way they think themselves as scientists, to me, they get it backwards. You know, science is there to rule out a lot of things. All right, the majority of science is there to rule things out. So everybody starts off, you know, on the Earth, and they see the moon going this way, they see the sun going that way, and they think, oh, maybe we're stationary and everything's moving around us. But then you see the celestial poles, and we learn more things, and we look at retrograde motion of planets, blah 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 blah, and we actually think, our observations tell us that it's impossible to be a flat Earth, so we rule that one out. And then you move forward that way. But the flat earthers, or a lot of them, they seem to want to be able to rule out stuff like, I don't know, gravity or seismic waves or whatever, because they just simply don't want to understand what they are. Like this guy I was speaking to on Twitter today, he didn't understand anything. Like he'd not looked into a single thing whatsoever. He didn't understand anything at all. But he didn't feel as if he had to rule it out. You know, he was starting off with the point that the Earth is flat and that's it. And unless you can prove to me otherwise, the Earth is flat, which is a complete opposite, isn't it, of what science does? Yeah.
It is about, I try and get that across in my videos and say, if you could prove the Earth was flat, science would accept it. If you know what I mean? Like there's no cardinal thing that says the overall shape of our planet can never change from what anyone's taught. You know, if you could come up with something better and physically, scientifically prove the Earth was flat, then science would accept it with open arms, wouldn't they? They'd test it. They'd try and see if it's wrong, try and prove it wrong, and if they couldn't, they would say, okay, the Earth's flat. And that's what I try and get around to people, is there is a difference between scientists and the elite, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, these rulers that they seem to claim are covering everything up. There's millions of scientists that have nothing to do with government, and they would love to call it out, if you know what I mean, if they could, that everything's a lie. You know, they'd all team up together and be like, they're lying to you. And there would be a big movement of really highly qualified people saying that what the government are telling us are wrong, if you know what I mean. Like, they're not with them, are they?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think it was, you know, if you go back 8 years or 10 years on YouTube, I think this is where it all started, because back then they just, I mean, Alex Jones was just running riot, you know, every day. And I was watching him. And then you've got David Icke and things like that. And then you start getting recommended other conspiracies to look into. And down the right-hand side of the page, I just remember it was just always some random dude with a conspiracy. And there was never any control over it. There was never any kind of management to say, well, okay, you're getting this information about one subject from one group of people, and you just kept getting recommended the same people or people with the same opinions. So, you know, you only need to sit at your PC watching YouTube for 3 months, watching all these conspiracies, and then suddenly you start to believe that the whole world is a conspiracy and everyone's lying to you. And then whatever community you end up in, whether it's a chemtrail community or whether it's a flat earth community, you rely on the leaders, let's say, of those communities, because, you know, other people are following them. And, you know, these other people that you're following now are the scientists, let's say, of the truth, the scientists of the truth. So whatever they say, you're going to listen to them, and you're going to reject everything in the mainstream because of all the conspiracy shit you've been listening to for the past 3 months or 6 months or a year, whatever. And that's how it works. So inside community as such, you know, inside like the flat earth community, there's a huge responsibility on those people that are putting content out. A massive response, far more so than they would ever even consider how much of an impact those people are having. And I can see that now. You know, from stepping away and looking back at it, I can now reevaluate that, and I can see what potential impact I had in the community too, which is why, you know, I came back. And the only reason I've started the new channel, and even Catz will tell you this, is simply because the community's just ignored the evidence of why I left. That's it. They've completely ignored it. They've lied about it. They've deliberately chosen to obfuscate it and not talk about it. And I just and then throw me, you know, basically call me this, that, and the other, and I'm a shill, and I'm this, and everybody that I thought was friends, no longer friends. Well, do you know what? Seriously, you know, I gave many years to that community, and I came back to tell them something that could save a lot of people from extra hardships. And the leaders, let's say, are the ones that are suppressing the information from the people, and they're only doing that because they're being dishonest. Totally dishonest. Sorry,
I'm actually busting for number 1, guys. So do you mind if I actually just quickly run and be back in like 1 minute? I'll still be able to listen to what you guys are saying.
Pee in a cup.
Yeah. Actually, and then we can drink it.
Drink it. Chin chin.
Yes.
Chin chin.
Chin chin. Oh no, literally though, back in 1 minute, guys. I'm sure you're both more than capable.
And he's got.
What should we say? What should we talk about?
Well, I want to. How's my lag now? Am I lagging now? I've switched browsers. Is my lag okay?
What?
Oh, you fucker.
Is your lag okay? No, what? What?
Is it?
What?
Is it all right? Like, because I'm in and out of here, like I'm doing the bloody hokey cokey or something. But
That's fine.
yes, no, I agree with what you said before, though, because I know, because you said to me just how annoyed you were. Not you. The way you phrase it to me is you weren't annoyed that people just didn't take the picture and believe you, right? You were annoyed that people, because that's hoping for a lot, isn't it? You were annoyed that people saw the picture and then decided not to talk about it, not to analyze it, not to do anything with it, just to push it to one side, and that was it, wasn't it? You know, that's annoying.
The amount of people that I've spoken to, like in Gem Pandas, you know, some of the flat earthers that are in there, people that have been on the panel on my old show, and I've asked them, I've said, well, what do you think about the video? Oh, we haven't watched it. I says, it's a week old, and you're in here arguing about the image, and you haven't even seen the presentation. So they would have been arguing with people in Gem Pandas about this, and they haven't even seen the presentation. So I've asked them, are you going to watch it? No. Why aren't you going to watch it then? So, you know, I went in on an alt in a different account, and I went into Nathan's and a couple of other streams, and I was asking people, have you seen the video? No, nobody's wanted to watch it. Like,
No.
Nobody's bothered. Nobody's interested. It's like, you know, at this point,
because they're not interested in the truth.
I'm beyond caring now. You know,
they are not. You clearly were obviously interested in the truth, and they're not. It is as simple as that. And I notice a few people had said, but I totally get it, that, like, you know, why this one photo when he'd seen so many similar beforehand? But I think that was only one part of the puzzle. I know, say for me, when it was like the moon observations that Catz mentioned, that was only a piece of the puzzle, if you know what I mean. That was maybe the straw that broke the camel's back. But do you think there were other things before that photo that had got you to the point where you would maybe at least accept flat Earth might be wrong?
Yeah, Bob. Well, the way that FE Core and Bob and what have you handled the evidence that was being gathered inside of FE Core and held on to that without publishing it, and told people that they had absolute proof with the gyro, the fiber optic one, that we were on a plane, until he released the data about 5 weeks ago, something like that, 6 weeks ago, and it clearly didn't show what he'd been holding on to for the past 18 months or something. He'd been living off this dream that there was some proof in it, and the whole community fell for that shit, and there was nothing in it. There was no proof of it at all. In fact, it was quite the opposite. So I was really pissed off about that. But also he did the same when the other gyroscope, the mechanical gyroscope, showed a precession, you know, and that was just, that gyroscope was fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I mean, the engineering that went into that, the cost to build it, and
he actually built that.
No, he didn't build it. But it showed a precession in both directions, whether it was sped forward or backwards. So it wasn't a fault in the equipment, and it was done in the basement, so it was, you know, controlled. You know, the precession happened across the wall in the basement, and it went in the same direction at the same speed that you'd expect at his latitude, basically, which I think was about 13 degrees per hour. So it had the same just everything matched up. And they held that information. There was a big furore about this about 2 years ago or something, about that time, and FE Core threatened to take him to court and sue him if he released the information. So I was aware of that.
There's people,
So I was thinking, you know, but then Bob turned around and said, well, we're getting a fiber optic one. This will settle it all down, you know, it'll all go. And he held on to this for like 20 months. And that's all just bullshit. Listen, why are they holding this information back, and why are they lying about it? Why can't they just be honest?
Yeah, and they say the globe is a lie. I did have a $5 super chat from I think it's B-Ball for Life. Trying to go back, I'm sure that was B-Ball for Life. Earth is Life. Thank you, $5. And then there is actually a question here for Ranty, if you wouldn't mind answering, for £5. A lot of flirfs seem quite angry. When you believed in FE, did you feel angry, and how do you feel more content now?
In the real world, not online, I'm just an average guy. You know, I don't pick a fight with anyone. I'm not an argumentative person. You know, pretty well mannered, I would think. But when you're in the community, I suppose, and I don't think I was ever too bad, but inside you did get feelings. You know, you got feelings of hatred towards other people that you wouldn't have normally got in the real world. So, you know, like other channels, other content creators that were, you know, like Simon Dan, for instance. I think I've said it before. You know, but people, you know, you get this unnatural, I wouldn't say hatred, but it's close to that, I would think. And you know, it becomes very personal as well. It seems like it becomes very personal, and you take it in, and it does absorb into your person. You absorb it, and then you have like, you actually end up then having two personas. You have a persona online, and you have your real world persona. And the more that you're online, the more you know that seems to take over. So what was happening was I was literally isolating myself from the real world, you know, so I was spending less time at work. I was spending hardly any time with my friends. In fact, all I was doing was socializing online with other flat earthers. And then the more you get into that, the more time you spend with them, the more, you know, it just ends up a cycle. And then they're the only people you're speaking to, you know, so all you're getting then is flat earth evidence. Well, not evidence, even just flat earth rhetoric, you know. That you start to then believe in, you know. And I think, you know, some people have asked actually, would I have, you know, if I'd still been doing my show and this image had popped up, would I have still done the same? Well, yes, I would. I would have still brought it to the community and I still demanded answers. That was who I was. That's exactly what I'd have done. Would I have been able to break away from that? Do you know something? I don't know, because since me and Conspiracy Cat started working together at the end of November, right up until, I don't know what, well, now even now, right? So it's still going, yeah? But we talk almost every day. So it's like I'm getting to talk to a normal human being.
Yeah.
Right? As daft as that sounds. Well,
Cat's face there is like, normal?
Yeah, not quite normal, you know, but, you know, normal, better, more normalized than the flat earthers. And you would talk about normal things. No, just everyday normal things, not flat earth 24/7, you know. So I was totally away from all that. Then I had somebody, just a reasonable human to speak to. Let's put it that way. And and yeah, so maybe that helped, you know, maybe that helped, you know.
I think actually with because I was such an Eric Dubay fanboy myself, like I just thought that he was the Messiah. And I remember actually on Facebook once, I got into a bit of an argument with him. Like even when, you know, I was a flat earther at the time. And, you know, I was like, you know, you speak to me on YouTube, I'm Seek Truth, Speak Truth. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, I recognize who you are. And then I was basically, because I hated Dell, even like as a flat earther, I was like, I thought that he was in the Freemasons and all of this, you know, there's all these conspiracies within conspiracies, isn't there? And infighting, and he was then standing up for Dell, you know, saying, no, Dell's a good guy. I've gone over his Freemason tattoos over and over. And, you know, I got into an argument with, you know, Eric Dubay. And then I remember kind of thinking then, like, you've ruined the magic a little bit there, Eric. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I thought that you were this really, like, mystical guy, and like he just hand waved dismissed me and just was like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. And that kind of was a slap round the face, and I was like, whoa. And I remember thinking, like, reality check, do you know what I mean? Like, and then I think that was when maybe a couple of weeks later when Catz made his video, like the debunk of me, if you know what I mean. So I look back and I realized there are these little triggers that slowly make the cogs in your head kind of turn back, and you kind of like, you know, there's not one definitive moment. I think it just kind of happens over time, and then obviously, you know, it's like one moment going, I'm a flat earther. You know, you don't just suddenly believe that, do you? You know, there is a process to become a flat earther, and same for coming back.
I think what a lot of people don't realize as well is that inside the flat earth community, there's a whole bunch of different groups and people that side with other people. For instance, Dell has his very loyal following, and they are aggressive, very upfront, in your face, hard hitting, super flirts, right?
Yeah.
That's the best way I can say it, right? And then you have other people like the Oakley crew, the people that follow the Oakleys. You can always tell who they are because the way they talk in the chat. They literally say the same thing that Nathan says, right? Yeah. And all these groups, right? And the Globebusters crew. So you've got the Globebusters, the people that follow Globebusters, and they all are fighting amongst themselves to be number one. They're all trying to be number one in the community and have their belief system win through. So Oakley's belief system is different to Globebuster Bob's, right?
Yeah.
And
because one can accept there's a downward bias and one can't, you know, and things like that.
Exactly. And, you know, this idea that we're all cohesive, it's not. So whichever group you happen to fall into when you first get into the flat earth, right, you could end up just binge watching Dell and become a Dell follower, right? In which case, then you will hate everybody, right? If you're a Dell follower, you will hate everybody except Dell, right? You'll love Dell. If you're a Globebuster, you'll love Globebusters, but you'll also watch Jeronism and you'll come over to the debates, but you won't like Nathan Oakley. You'll hate him, right? And if you're Nathan Oakley, he will be telling everybody that you must spread my message to the world, you know, my message, you know, and so that's what they do, and they go and spread his message. So then you see people fighting in chats, and it's not always Globers against flat earthers. A lot of the time it's flat earthers against flat earthers, and then you've got the Arwins, the people that follow, you know, I mean the real crackpots. You know,
how am I not at 1,000 subscribers? I've been
oh dear.
Oh. We have another question actually from not a question actually, it's a compliment from Earth is Life. Ranty, your video on your new channel was absolutely brilliant and spot on. Will you be doing more debunking videos or even live panels again?
Oh, I'm not doing any live panels. I say that. I might do the odd one now and then when
never say never.
Arises. Yeah, but I want to just do these type of videos. I enjoy them. You know, I am my sense of humor. That is my sense of humor normally. So why not do that?
Yeah, I think you're best off staying on that like comedy side, but it was very informative as well, though. If you know what I mean, it wasn't just taking the piss. It was actually a really good look into the rabbit hole as well, you know. So I conclude with that as well. That was a brilliant video you put together there, mate.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, any flat earther that watches that, they will know what I'm saying. They will know. They will know it because they know it's the truth. Even though I'm taking the piss, they'll definitely know it's the truth. But it's also really funny to people that aren't flat earthers. So, so it hits the nail on the head for both. So it's a win-win for me. I'll keep doing them, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. It got to be done. Catz, what did you think? Was there a moment like when did you start to think, oh my God, like I think he's actually going to come back?
God, that's difficult because I think to be honest, he'd already made his mind up when he made, because when we started working together, we didn't, like he said before, we just didn't talk about flat Earth because I thought if we're going to do this podcast, all we're going to do if we bring it up is disagree on it, and that's not healthy. Like, we're just going to disagree. We've had those conversations a million times, so we never mentioned it once. And then when he brought this photograph to me, he was like, I want to show you this because I think this is showing drop. I think he'd done it all. So it wasn't a case of like he'd gone, I'm not sure, I'm wondering. Like, he'd done it all. Then he'd come to me and went, this looks like this is evidence of a globe to me. Like that, really. And then I still didn't say anything because I thought, well, obviously, who knows what's going through his mind? He may change his mind again. But no, I think he was pretty convinced of it before he even decided to mention it to me. Yeah, I don't know. I might be wrong, Ranty. What was like?
Well, yeah, you're absolutely spot on. It was so conclusive that if it had just been a maybe, I wouldn't have even bothered. You know, I wouldn't have been so adamant about it, or even bothered contacting you. But it was so conclusive, and there was no other explanation. It just had to be a globe. I mean, you just couldn't do the calculations, or you couldn't work it out and just not come to that conclusion. It certainly wasn't a flat plane, and the more I looked at it, the more obvious it was. It was just like it was staring me right in the face. And then the funny thing is, I was in Gems again earlier, and somebody had posted an image of the wind turbines, you know, out in the ocean. And there's one right on the horizon, basically, that's just up to the hub. So you can only see like a couple of prongs, and then you've got the hub. And the rest of it is all hidden behind water, right? How many times have I looked at those images and dismissed it as sinking? Literally, like optical effect, it's sinking. Yeah, it's being sunk, or there's a tsunami of water coming up that's blocking the bottom of it, you know. And I just looked at that image tonight and I laughed my head off, because I even downloaded it and saved it, because I'm going to use it in my next video. And I look at it and I think, how the fuck can I look at that now, right? But when I was a flat earther, I looked at that and I was convinced that it was an optical effect. Oh my god! I mean, it's like he was in a spell or something, like a serious spell of denial.
It is.
And when you're free from that, you can look at that and go, "Fuck me!" You can look at it. There's 300 frigging feet of that turbine behind the water, for crying out loud, right? It's like, what was I thinking? Yeah. And I was arguing this with people, saying, no, it's not that. It's a wave or fucking anything. I don't know.
It's great, isn't it?
See, I mean, I must admit with me, because like you said, you really, you know, looked into optics and really concentrated on that one thing, didn't you? If you know what I mean. But I think my mind was all over the place. So luckily, Catz managed to kind of pin down. Just think about the moon. You know, look at the moon and see what it does, and you know. But did you go to say something there, Catz? I'm sure I cut you off a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if how my lag is operating. That's why I'm being a bit quiet, because I don't know if I ever speak, I'm going to interrupt one of you. But I was just when Ranty was saying about the optical effect there, that's exactly what I'm getting on my channel. There's a lot of these comments in my next video I'm making where countless people have come over to my channel and just said, it's clearly an optical effect. It's clearly not. And every single person I've replied to has said, oh, fantastic. Could you please tell me what optical effect and how it can cause the bottoms, 300 meters of mountains, whatever, to permanently be missed under the ground, And not one of them has replied. Not one of them.
Yeah.
But it's that program response. It's an optical effect. Is it? What optical effect? Fuck knows. An optical effect.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Any optical
answer. Yeah. Yeah. As long as they've got an answer, they don't even have to be able to explain why, if you know what I mean.
Exactly.
As long as you can say some words, you're fine. And that, I mean, a couple of the people that, they must be a nightmare to debate would be, say, like Nathan Thompson or Austin Witsit, because they are like just machine guns of like, they know like, oh, you just said this is a so-and-so fallacy, and if there's very, very intelligent people that could debate those guys and actually end up looking like idiots to a majority of the viewers watching it, if you know what I mean. So you do have to be on your toes, don't you, if you know what I mean? Like there's people out there, they know exactly what they're saying, and it's a script. They've got it in their head. Bang, 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 bang. As soon as you say something, they have the answer. They have an answer.
I had that. Oh, sorry, go, Ranty.
Well, no, I was just going to say, you mentioned Austin Witsit. Well, I'm going to be debating him on Saturday.
Are you?
I am.
Wow.
He nearly said dating him.
Wind
it back. He nearly said dating him. Wind it back 10 seconds.
It was the extra.
Be dating him on Saturday.
Listen, it was the extra in the Corona that made me say that.
I love it.
Oh my God. What channel?
It's still undecided yet. We're hoping maybe Conspiracy Cats can squeeze it in.
Ooh, nice.
The debate, that is. The debate.
Yeah.
Squeeze the debate.
You want him to come on the date as well?
I'm looking to get it on Agree to Disagree. Where the new host will be revealed as well. So
do it on a
new co-host.
Agree to Disagree will be a brilliant little debate over there, mate. Yeah.
Well, I think that's the kind of place.
Should we reveal now that I'm the new host, or I'm only joking? Because I'm actually not. I'm actually not. Yeah.
Shame though. Shame. No, I think that's a good place for that though, because Agree to Disagree has it's just very black and white. You know, you either talk like an adult or you go. You know, simple as that. So it'll be good for people like Nathan Thompson or Witsit gets it that can't keep the gob shut, because it's a case of, you come and you present your argument in full. Nobody interrupts you, but then you listen to what the other person's got to say without interrupting. And as soon as they can't do that second bit, well, unfortunately, you're gone.
I reckon if it's on Agree to Disagree with Witsit, I give him 20 minutes, and he's not going to be able to hold it in. He'll get booted. He'll rage quit, I think, because he can't rage.
That's funnily enough, that's the exact number I gave him when he wanted to debate me in Gem Pandas. And then I said to him, well, have you even seen the video? Have you seen any of the calculations on this image? He said, no. I says, well, I'll tell you what, go away, research it, and then I'll debate you about it. No problem. I says, I want you at your best. You're a globe buster at the end of the day. I don't want to take the piss out of you now without even having any idea what you're getting into. So, he said, I'll do it now. I says, look, you won't. You'll do it on another platform. And I'll tell you something, you'll rage quit within 20 minutes. Yeah. Anyway, did you? I won't rage quit in 20 minutes. I says, you will. You will. Yeah. That's if he shows up. I don't even know if he's going to show up, because the platform at Agree to Disagree gives you stipulations about what it is that you intend to debate, and they're very strict. So it's like, we want you to discuss this part, and this part. So in this case, it's the trigonometry, it's the pixel count, and it's the observation itself with the visible parts of the mountain. So there's 3 parts to it, and he's got to present why the trigonometry is wrong, and why it works on a flat plane, and then why the pixel count is wrong, and why it works on a flat plane, and then why the visible part of the mountain is visible up to about 350 meters above eye line, and where the rest of it is. And he's got to bring evidence that backs up his claim for why it's a flat plane on that. I've got all the evidence to show why it's a globe. Yeah. I've got it all. I've already done it all. But he's got to do what I couldn't do in 2 months, right? And he wasn't an optics guy. He's a gobshite, Yeah,
gobshite guy.
Yeah, he's a gobshite guy. And I was the optics guy, and I couldn't explain it. So good luck to him. He's got a week to do it. He's had Bob from Globebusters helping him, so he's got to bring his best to explain it. Good luck with that.
Mate, I really hope that goes ahead. I'm going to be in the audience for that one, 100%. I've had a super chat from David Oliver, £20. Thank you so much for that, mate. That's amazing. I've had my wisdom tooth removed Saturday the 1st of May. My mouth, jaw, cheek is really hurting still. Got prescribed some amoxicillin today. Really hope that helps my mouth problems. Thanks, STST, Catz and Ranty.
I'm the only one drinking. I'm the only one drinking.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
You guys haven't been having any.
I've gone through 5 of these bad boys.
Yeah,
those blues. Was that 0%?
Alcohol-free Beck's Blues. They're great.
I'll tell you what, though, you can't really notice the difference, though, apart from the fact you don't get drunk. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got a bit of work to do after this, so I'm gonna sit downstairs and do a bit of oh God, I can't face doing any more work, but yeah, I'd need a clear head. But it's nice though. It's nice stuff.
Yeah, I mean, actually, bringing up the amoxicillin randomly just makes me think of I don't know why I just thought of this, but like the advancements in medicine and how like we've got now anti-vaxxers and things, you know, oh, they're all trying to kill us. But, you know, say amoxicillin, the people that find these medicines are obviously trying to save lives. You know, it's like penicillin. It's probably one of the greatest finds in medical history. And again, you need brain surgeon, you go to a brain surgeon. Heart surgery, you go to a heart surgeon. You know, there are experts in their fields, and they don't work for the government. They don't work for the big corporation. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to be able to differentiate between, medicine and people that are. Do you know what I mean? Like, where is the only thing I hate is the money being made out of it, the money that the actual corporations that make the medicines make. If there's a conspiracy, that's where it is. But the actual medicines themselves are not there to harm you, if you know what I mean. Like, the money they cost is ludicrous. I'll say that much. But
you're right.
Oh, that's nice. I'm actually getting a few tears from hearing the lads together. So happy for Ranty and for STST for having a new mate to relate to. Catz, of course, is still a twat.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, let me respond to this Craven Mordic. So he says,
That's great.
Come on, Ranty. Ranty, you saw that photo with the double drop. That's what it would actually look like on a globe. Duh. I know he's taking the piss, which is great. But let me just explain what the hell has gone on there. So this is the dishonesty that's going on inside of the Flat Earth debate team, right? So you have the Adam Meakin, who up until now I'd really respected because I thought he was a genuine truth seeker and I thought he was being genuinely honest. And this is an old debunked method that was thrown out 3 years ago. We got to the bottom of this about 3 years ago. And what he's doing is he's applying the drop value to an observation. That's what he's done. So he's given the drop, you know, over that distance, how much will it drop by? And then he's placed that at the bottom of, you know, where it would relate to the tower. And then he's shown it as an observation. But you can't do that because as soon as you lift your eyeball just half a centimetre off the ground, you're no longer talking about drop. You're talking about how much is hidden. It's the hidden value that you're then looking at. So when you're going up to 6 meters or 12 meters or whatever you want to go to, you always have to apply the hidden value because it's a tit for tat. You go up, you know, you see more of the mountain. You know, the higher up you go, you see more of it. So what he's doing is he's doing this is the drop value without any raising up, and then he's raising it up without actually lifting the mountains up. It's so dishonest. So I mean, it's beyond dishonest. It's ridiculous.
But things
when
like,
you see,
I'm surprised he thought it could get.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, you would be.
Carry on, mate.
Oh, sorry.
Go on, Catz.
If ever you,
my
right,
lag
Catz,
is terrible, guys.
if ever you start talking and it sounds like one of us is going to cut you off, keep talking. It's just that we're lagged. Keep talking.
Sorry, I can't remember what I was going to say now, and it was going to be so brilliant as well.
It's to do with the Adam
Yeah,
Meakin. He said, "I can't believe something or other." You say,
"Yeah, I can't believe that he actually thinks that people listening to him are going to swallow that. They're going to swallow that he's just taken these mountains and for some reason just double shrunk them and then expected to be able to sell that to people who aren't then going to look at it and go, what are you talking about? You know, it just, I can't believe that he's gone down that road, you know? I always thought he was a decent enough bloke, and I'm sure he is, but that's delusion, what he's done there.
well, it's just dishonest. It's just dishonest because we as the Flat Earth debate team went through this years ago. 3 years ago, we went through all this. We went through it all because we had it all with the Isle of Man and crap like this. So we literally went through what's the difference between drop, what's the difference between hidden value. It was all sorted out back then. But this evidence is so damning. What they've done is they've regressed themselves to bring up arguments from 2018, right, that don't work because they're wrong. and then they've brought it back to the, let's say, the new people that are watching the Flat Earth debate team, because I can't imagine people watching that debate for more than 2 months and tuning off. So you haven't, so the people that are watching it are all new. They won't have been watching debates from 2018. So they've never heard this argument before. So all they're doing is confusing people by deliberately bringing up stuff that was long ago debunked and things that you shouldn't use to try and explain it. And Nathan Oakley today, or was it yesterday, whatever it was, yesterday, I think, clapping like a frigging seal. Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
We've got a question from Earth is Life, formerly B-Ball for Life, I believe. Check out that channel. I remember when Ranty, I always say Ranty, I'm trying to remember. Ranty. Yes, Ranty. When Ranty analysed my images from here and Hawaii and said that the buildings were all blocked by waves and shoaling.
Well, to be fair, and B-Ball knows this too, it was the storm front rolling in. There was a hurricane rolling in, and he's poking me here because it definitely was. You could see the waves. I mean, there's no denying it wasn't a nice earth curve or the nice flat horizon. This was giant waves rolling in. So he knows what he's doing there. He's just poking me. Nice try there. Nice try. I imagine if the storm front wasn't rolling in and maybe it was very calm, you might have seen a similar thing. But at that time, there was definitely waves that were blocking it. It was definitely waves. So I'm not going to let you get away with that. That's just.
We have Neatmar 666 for $5 Canadian, I believe. Ranty, you need to put a wedge of lime into that beer. Help fight off the coronavirus.
No, I should have got some. Lime would have been all right. Then again, I've not had the virus. I don't think I have anyway. So, have you had the jab?
Not yet, actually. No, I'm going to get mine booked up. I think it's about that time where it's becoming available to, kind of my age group and no underlying health conditions and things. So, yeah, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for the jab.
You should have had yours through 2 months ago, over 60s. What about you, Catz? You had yours?
I had my letter through not so long ago, saying that I can. I've had my letter through, so I need to get that book. What beer or cheap lager are you drinking? You missed it, Tatty. It's alcohol-free Beck's Blue. There you go. Look at that. It's lovely when it's cold out the fridge. I've still not finished work when I'm done here. I've got about another hour and a half to do to keep on track. It's just mad at the minute. Mad.
Should we go till because I know actually I only originally said an hour, but should we go till say past another 10 minutes and then wrap it up? I mean, I'm having fun, to be honest, but I know you've obviously got work to carry on with, both of you guys. So absolutely brilliant. It's good to just have this chat. I'm so glad Ranty has stayed around because I know when you kind of first left, you were like, I'm not going to really do anything. And, this might be kind of short term. But I'm so glad that you have stood up and actually puffed your chest out and debated and said, no, this is why. And, it would have been very easy to just kind of carry on with the podcast and never really mention it again, if you know what I mean. But what you've done will honestly be saving, in my opinion, hundreds of people from going down that rabbit hole. So massive props to you, buddy.
Well, they would have if they'd have just analysed the image properly. Like if you go back to when the Isle of Man things came out, what we did is we picked out all the individual features of the mounds of the island, basically. So we're picking out individual towns, individual lighthouses, roads, parts of hills, different peaks, all of this. It was a full investigation that went on with the Isle of Man, right? So that was due diligence, right? This, on the other hand, they haven't done anything like that. So I was expecting the same level of due diligence to have been taken place on Nathan Oakley's and Brandon's and Globebusters. I expected them to do that. I expected them to go into this properly. Nobody has, you know. And the reason is because there isn't an explanation for it on Flat Earth. And I know that. I know that. But I still expected them to be honest. And if they didn't have an answer, to at least hold their hands up and say, do you know what? On this one particular image, on this one particular day, we don't have an answer. Fair enough, right? And that would have satisfied me. But they didn't do that. Instead, what they tried to do was lie about the observation, lie about me, lie about what's being seen, twist the image, talk about the left-hand side, say it was cropped off. It wasn't. It was just the image that he posted on Twitter that was used. He cropped it himself. We didn't crop it. The left-hand side that supposedly showed flat proof wasn't of the case at all. You know, hijacking it for a black swan proof of flatness, you know, just total dishonesty. I mean, literally going above and beyond what you'd expect any normal, rational person to do. And what you got to say is that if they're doing that, then they're doing it because they know how bad it is. But why would they still be doing that if they're truth seekers? You know, if they're truth seekers, they would be questioning it too. They, like I would be, and maybe they should have given up their own channels by now after looking at that. But they haven't done that. Instead, what they've done is they've tried to say to their audience that, no, it's a flat earth proof. Fuck off. Is it hell? And it's not. You know, and blatantly being fucking dishonest about it. So that's why I'm staying around now, because, you know, I just wanted, I expected to put the information out, hang around for a couple of weeks, toddle off, you know, after it had gone to the community to evaluate it themselves, you know, in an honest way. Instead, it's not been an honest way. It's been a totally dishonest way. And I'm not going to stand for that.
No, props to you, man. Props to you. I'll bet you're thinking that's pretty cool, Catz, as well, ain't you, dude? Like, kind of, you know, seeing what's happened in the last few years. Obviously, say with me leaving, and we had Jose at first, didn't we? And me, now Ranty. Like, do you feel like there's momentum now in, like, more and more people realising that is nonsense?
Well, yeah, I hope so. And like yourself, you had a channel. Jose had a channel. Ranty had a channel. All three of you have stuck around, and you can give that viewpoint from why you used to think things, you know, that you used to think. And that can be really, really helpful for people who are either on the fence or new to Flat Earth or kind of wavering on it.
Just grabbing a beer and still listening.
Okay, mate. I think that can be really, really useful and powerful for them. So it's good. And I bet, like you said, you know, Ranty, a while ago, that although people might not come out and say it, there'll be a lot of people out there who have watched you in the past and have followed you and been a subscriber of yours, because you will have had, like, you know, loyal subscribers. You know what I mean? I know that sounds a bit naff, but you will have had people that really follow you, and whether they're known to you or not, they'll be looking and thinking, oh, what's going on here? Maybe I should give it some more thought. And you might never even hear from them, but there'll be people out there that you've done some good to with this.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, they might not watch it. They might not have wanted to watch it in the first 2 weeks, you know, but maybe in a month's time, they might take up the courage to go and watch it. You know, they might have, you know, been hesitant and waiting to see what other people say about it first. So Nathan Oakley's come out and said, oh, it's a flat earth proof. It's nothing to do with the globe earth. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll just believe that then, right? But somewhere in the back of their head, they're probably thinking to themselves, well, who's Nathan Oakley? Well, he's just a gobshite chat show host, right? He's not really an optics fella. And Ranty, who did all the optics, he says that it's a fucking globe proof, and he's left the community and switched sides. So eventually, that eating away might eat away at them to the point where they go, oh, I'll tell you what, then I'll go and watch it now. Yeah, but it might take time.
One of the phrases which always flat earthers will say is, like, once you go flat, you never go back. And the one obviously big difference between me and you is people know who the hell you are, and nobody really had heard of me. So flat earthers would always, when I'd say, I'm proof I was a flat earther, I did go back, and they'd go, no, you were never a flat earther. Like, you know, and I know you will have people say that to you now, but it will still have a massive impact because they know how active you were. And, you know, like you say, 5 years of doing a channel, everyone had heard of Ranty Flat Earth, if you know what I mean, like much more than 5,000 people, which were your subscribers. Probably nearer 500,000 people had actually heard of who your channel is and who you are. So it will cause bigger shockwaves to flat earthers, because that then resonates. He was a flat earther and he did go back, if you know what I mean. So I think that's why it's so powerful.
Well, yeah, I mean, I hope that my message reaches people. Just go and watch the presentation. It's dead simple. It's on Baldy Cat's channel. Just go and watch it, and then make your own mind up. You know, if you still want to believe that it's some kind of flat proof, and you want to believe Nathan Oakley and his little tiny smudge, that is absolute ridiculous. I mean, it's nothing. Don't even get me started on it. You know, but you know, just watch the presentation and make your own mind up. You know, it won't take long. If you remove yourself, this is you know what you've got to do. You've got to take the flat earther out of your head for a time, right? Watch the presentation, not being a flat earther, right? That's what you have to do. Remove the flat earther from you, all your biases and everything like that, and just watch it as if you're just watching some kind of documentary about something and make your mind up about it, right? And then you can put your flat earther head back on and then decide what you want to do. It's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Don't be just going tut all the way through it. You know, oh, I don't believe this. Oh, I don't believe. Oh, it's trigonometry. Trigonometry doesn't work on a plane. What do you mean trigonometry doesn't work on a plane?
Where's it all what Dell goes on about, like Euclidean and non-Euclidean, and oh my god,
no, you can't
if you don't
use
know what
trigonometry.
we're talking about, oh
You know,
man, we've got a super chat from Critical Think for $5 Thank you very much. Ranty, congrats on being honest. Are you prepared now to admit that some of my globe proofs are not just lies?
I'll have to watch some of your content, because to be fair, and I think I've said this quite a lot actually, is that flat earthers don't really watch globe earth channels. You know, the only content creators I would watch are people if they actually sent me a message saying, can you go and watch this video? Sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't, because I'd be too busy. Or on the other side of the coin, I would only ever watch probably Conspiracy Catz when he put his videos out because they were funny. Right? So I liked that, you know. The others were just boring and dry. And as a flat earther, you don't watch debunking videos. You would rather watch somebody else's flat earth video that shows it being flat, rather than a globe earther saying why it isn't flat. You know, you want to
I get that actually.
Yeah, you want to be encouraged. Yeah. You want to encourage your beliefs.
You're only really drawn to, like you said about Conspiracy Catz. I used to watch a bit of Simon Dan and FTFE, but it was literally I'd be sitting there going, you effing wankers, you bastards, like, and just absolutely just thinking they're employed to cover up this lie and they're evil. And, you know, I just wanted to hopefully get into a battle with them in the chat messages or something like that, if you know what I mean. But that's the only reason why I watched it. I was never ever watching a debunking channel in thinking, oh, are they going to debunk flat earth today? I was only thinking of an excuse as to why they haven't debunked it. Do you know what I mean? So it's just such a mindset thing.
And the idea that when I've said it's a cult, you know, because I've said this, that you know, it's like it's a cult, and it is when you've actually left and you look back, you see all the cultish behavior, and you can absolutely appreciate that it is a cult. But I don't think I think that when flat earthers hear me say that, they feel offended for me saying that I'm saying that they're in a cult, because what I mean to say is that the people that are in the cult don't realize they're in the cult first and foremost. They don't appreciate that they're in a cult firstly, right? So when I'm saying to them, you're in a cult, they don't know they're in a cult. They actually think we're in a cult or other people are in a cult. They're not, right? But no, they're the ones in the cult. But who's leading it? There's nobody directing it. It's everybody else just getting all excited about a new flat Earth proof. Somebody else pushes a pot around, they get all excited about it, oh, right, and and then they can't wait, to see what the next day brings. Some guy lifting a tray of water up, but anyway, so they're all there anyway, just each massaging each other's ego, and that's what it is. So that they're just making the cult themselves. They're actually participating in their own cult, making their own cult, and not realizing it.
Well, that's the echo chamber, isn't it? People use the term echo chamber a lot, and that's exactly what it is. Where, like you said before, people aren't going to watch the so-called debunking videos, if you like, or whatever. They're not going to watch. They're going to just watch what they make, what their community makes. They'll talk with them. And the more
the people
because
on the
they're doing
fence
that,
watch them though, don't they?
Yeah,
Sorry
and that's all they're getting. No, you're right.
Yeah, that's
but
the people on the fence, though,
it.
isn't it? What? Yeah.
Sorry.
No, mate. That was me. I kind of wanted to just add that little bit and then allow you to carry on, but I stumbled you over. I stumbled you up. I'm sorry. But
for anyone who's watching who doesn't know what
on.
I'm doing here, there's a lag. I've got a really bad lag over here, which is why I'm not saying much. I'm about 5 or 6 seconds behind, so apologies for that. But yeah, people just I forgot what I was going to say now.
And he hasn't had a drink either.
We'll come back another time.
People go for you for tutoring.
Oh yeah, and I'm not, and this is alcohol free as well. So do you know what I mean?
Oh, we've got a question actually, if you wouldn't mind answering, from Brandon A to Catz. Have you thought about doing more personalized videos instead of general debunks, Catz? It's amazing what you did for Seek Truth. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I've been saying this for a long time. Anyone who's been watching my channels knows that the amount of content I've put out, I'm down to less than a video a month now. I'm down to less than a video a month on my channels. And I'm looking for something else. Like, I've had my fun debunking. I say debunking. Flat Earth is so easy to debunk, though, isn't it? It's not. I've had my fun kind of like pointing my eyes at Flat Earth, and I want to look at something else. But I don't really know what. And when that thing comes along, I might get my mojo back, and I might start hammering videos out a lot more often. But I think if I was ever going to do something more meaningful, like stay in Flat Earth when I find out what that is, it would be to do that exact style of video, like I did for Rachie or yourself. But it has to be for someone who I know is going to sit and watch it and respond to it, So yeah, I probably would. That's probably what I'll end up doing for Flat Earth in the future. But I'm looking for something else I can laugh at, I suppose, and throw some rational to.
Good answer. Yeah, I mean, you've certainly done your time, dude. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you've been a big part of the community. So props to you, dude. We've got a super chat from JSS Tiger for $5. Again, Ranty, if you don't mind answering, Ranty, what does Ranty say to people who say he always was a globe earther, just trolling FE?
Well, clearly we're all globe earthers. So, so I would definitely agree with that. Essentially we are all globe earthers, but, there was a time that, I believed the earth was flat. And I wasn't trolling. I was genuinely trying to find a logical answer for why we see the effects we do over water. That was the only thing that I was interested in. These effects that we get, the inferior mirage, all this kind of stuff going on, this crazy atmospherics and stuff. So that's all I was interested in. And I knew that the globe had 7/6 hour refraction. I just wanted to see if I could, counter that, basically. And I think I did a pretty good job, to be fair, of analysing all the different effects. But to say that I was just a globe earther pretending to be a flat earther, absolutely not. I was all in. I was in. I was balls deep in it. That was me. And
yeah.
But people say it only took you one image to change. Yeah, but it's what that image shows. It's like, people don't So
I mean,
I've got to laugh because the wind turbines. I've just had that image pop up in my head now.
Yeah.
The wind turbine again. That's almost sunk. And now I look at that and I think, how was I even contemplating that being a flat Earth thing? I mean, it's retarded, right? But up until that point, I saw an image of Blackpool, which was what I was looking for, that showed the drop. So I was very happy and contented. And then I saw the wind turbines today. And I was like, how can I have believed that as a flat earther? You know?
Yeah. I'm with you, dude. Like, you'll probably, you know, have more of an understanding because you know these flat earthers more than I do or did. But like, I can see it. I can tell that you are genuine, if you know what I mean. And I probably even used to have a video somewhere where I was like, Ranty knows we live on a globe. A lot of people believe that. A lot of globe Earth believers, but it's because they cannot understand how someone can believe the Earth is flat, if you know what I mean. So it is actually a cognitive dissonance where they would rather believe that you're lying than believe that you actually thought the Earth was flat, if you know what I mean, because they can't comprehend, quite rightly so, to be honest, how somebody could think the Earth was flat. So I get that as well, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, oh, you of course you never were a flat earther. You always believed in the globe. You just tried to make a bit of money out of it, and
it's
you know what I mean. But it's because they can't understand how. Yeah,
it's like you're brainwashed. I don't know how it happens, or how it happened to me, or how I was able to end up in that situation. But looking back, I mean, it must. I mean, come on, guy. Buildings half hidden by water, wind turbine right up to the hub, right up to the hub with water, right? And I'm still a flat earther. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, now I look at it, it just took that one image to break the spell. It's like you're in a spell. It takes the one thing to break the spell. Once you break the spell, then you start to see other things, and then you realize how stupid you were. And I think that's what I'm going to do in my next video, actually, from talking to you guys today just now, is I'm going to do that. I'm going to present the wind turbine. I'm going to present the buildings half covered by water. I'm going to present other things that I can, you know, maybe have videoed in the past and say, how the fuck did I look at these and think we still live on a flat earth? I mean, come on. I mean, but when you're in the community, you see it. You just look through it. You look through it. You don't even. It's like it doesn't register with you.
There's blinkers. There's definitely blinkers there. I've got a £5 super chat from Noah SB. Thank you very much, Noah. Flurf isn't a cult in itself. It's a belief system. The cult behavior forms around the figureheads like NT, and cults of personality form that way. So yeah, I suppose actually, like, say, flat earth itself might not be a cult, but then there are certainly cults within it, definitely. You know, you could be a flat earther maybe and not be involved with anyone, speaking to anyone, so maybe, yeah, that's not a cult. But as soon as you're getting yourself in these echo chambers and, you know, only speaking to flat earthers, everyone else is the enemy, that is then, I think, definitely getting towards a cult. I would fully back that up. Mace Windex. I'd love to see Catz make science videos like what Simon Dan did for a couple of episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, why not? I'd love to do that. Baldy Catz to do some quirky science videos. I love that name though, Mace Windex. That is brilliant. That's one of my. There's some corkers in the chat tonight. That's one of my favourite. I like that. I love channels like Action Lab and what's that one beginning? Veritasium, is it? Veritasium. So I mean, those are. I could never do a 10th, even in like 1% of what they could do. But I do like watching that kind of video. That'd be good.
They're big productions, aren't they? You know, when you kind of look at the credits and there's like 12 people involved, if you know what I mean. Like most of them channels, there's people behind the scenes and. Which for that quality content, I suppose you're going to have them, aren't you? But we have a question from Aza. Seek truth, speak truth. Were you all in with conspiracies like going as far as 9/11 and Sandy Hook? please ask Ranty to check out Miles' Power sometimes.
Okay.
I believed the 9/11 conspiracy. I haven't monetized this video, so it doesn't really matter what I say. But yeah, I totally believed that they were all a government thing. Yeah, the lot basically. It got as far actually to the point where I believed that it was direct energy weapons that actually decimated the tower. So yeah, that's what I believed. Sandy Hook, I never really heard about that. I know obviously the guy that we mentioned earlier, actually the guy that Ranty was talking about earlier, used to bring that up a lot. But yeah. And Ranty, do you know who Miles' Power is?
No, but I'll have a look. I'll have a quick look at that probably tomorrow. But listen, Catz, I was going to say, doing the paranormal podcast, we get a lot of what you would class people as being sensitive or somewhat psychic to they come in and they say that. They say, oh, I've always seen these things. I'm very open to this. I always have been that. Do you think there's a parallel with that and what's happening in the flat earth community?
Sorry.
Bias, right. So you've got a bias, right? You believe that you can see ghosts. You believe that you can do this. But you're in the flat earth community and you see a wind turbine that's right up to the hub, right? Underwater,
yeah.
Right? And you look through it and you ignore it and you still believe you're on a flat earth, right? Is there a parallel between that and believing you're a psychic, some kind of psychic or sensitive, and then supposedly seeing ghosts and coming on and telling us about ghosts that they've seen?
I think there's believing that you're psychic or sensitive or something like that. Obviously, is going to be supported by bias. And I think in one of the podcasts I brought up the work from Dr. Donna Bridge, and oh God, who was that? Dr. Elizabeth, I can't remember her last name now. Well, she talked about the malleability of memory, and when you every time you remember something, you don't really remember the event. You remember the last time you remembered that event. And while you're remembering, your memories become slightly malleable. You can change your memories over time. And this is why the courts are actually relying less and less and less on eyewitnesses, because your own memory can change. But the thing is that while you're changing your memory, if you have a belief, for example, that you are psychic, you then start to add more significance to maybe what somebody said at a certain time, or you might change what they've kind of said at a certain time as that memory changes. And over time, you may be remembering an event where you've added such significance to a small thing that either never really happened or didn't happen the way you thought, but it totally confirms, your belief that you are a psychic, for example. So I can believe that. In terms of the looking at a wind turbine and seeing it, and just thinking, oh, it must be underwater. I see that kind of behavior all the time with students when I'm teaching them, and especially the clever ones who aren't used to being wrong. So I'll give you an example. Like I might do a lesson on cell division and mitosis or whatever, and I'll ask them to write a question, and they'll answer a question, and they'll use the word haploid instead of diploid, and I'll say, unfortunately, you've got the marks wrong. You've only got 8 out of 10 instead of 10 out of 10. And then they've gone, yeah, but I meant haploid. I'm like, okay, but you said the wrong word. Yeah, but I basically got it right, haven't I? And they're just blind to their own faults. Yeah, basically, it'd be fine. I don't have to learn that. And I think it's the same thing. They are convinced the Earth is flat, so it doesn't really matter what that is. It's just it's proof of flat Earth one way or the other. Whether there's a link with the psychic stuff and the same mindset, I don't know. But
I think
it's very similar.
I think this remembering what you've just said there about this study that happened. It might well be prevalent about what's happening in flat Earth, because to the normal person, when they see that wind turbine that's half hidden by water, right? They say, yes, it's sinking, it's below the horizon, we'll live on a globe, right? But if you have been in echo chambers, and every time a wind turbine is presented, let's say a globe earther comes in and says, hey, look at this wind turbine hidden by water, right? The flat earthers turn around and say, oh, that's optical drop, or Rayleigh's cry, fucking whatever, anything that pops into the head, any old shit that pops in, right? They say it enough, right? So that the people that are watching it, they remembering what the person that's running the channel or the other flat earthers have said. And so now what they see, they don't see the wind turbine hidden by water. They see an optical effect.
Mm.
Yeah,
right? So
they're adding more significance
with an optical effect. Yeah.
And
I think that's what's happening.
What you put in your last video actually was like the Chinese whispers. Was that in your last video, or am I now having a memory? But it is like a Chinese whispers effect, isn't it? Really, where what these guys are saying and get them like watered down every time, and it just gets a little bit different. But the next person can't back that up, and they just kind of repeat what they heard before, but a little bit different. And then next thing you know, there's a whole new brand of science. It's
and it becomes so significant to them because I think Ranty might be on something there. They remember the last time they heard about the optical effect. They remember something else, and it begins to grow more significance in their own mind than it actually is. And that's what an echo chamber does, because it's constantly reinforcing the same thing. You don't know you're in an echo chamber. You don't deliberately want to be in an echo chamber, but you're constantly having that same thing reinforced over and over and over and over. And you add a lot of significance to it. And what you need is someone to actually put you on the spot and say, just stop for 1 second, right? Mm-hmm. Just break this down and explain it to me exactly. Don't just say the word optical effect, right? Just break it down and tell me exactly what's going on. And that's the thing that shows like Nathan Oakley's and Dell's and I don't know if Globebusters get people, but they won't allow that to happen. You won't ask me questions. This is my show. I'm asking the questions, and they won't allow that kind of stuff.
I think what it is as well, they say it enough times that they actually believe it themselves. And I said that in my first video. I said that in my first video on this Flirspective channel. That they, if they say it enough times over and over and repeat it enough, it'll become true. And I think that's basically what I'm trying to say, is that they say it enough times that you see that wind turbine hidden by water so often, but you're told so many times by so many different people that it's something else other than what it is, that you actually start to believe that it isn't actually a wind turbine that's hidden by water, right? And that's I'm onto this. This is what's happening inside the community. I'm sure of it. That people are being brainwashed, because that's essentially what it is. They're being brainwashed with bullshit, and then as soon as they snap out of it, everything falls into place.
I look at it as like a reverse psychology. So say someone like Eric Dubay will say, the first thing you are shown in school is a rotating globe. Your indoctrination starts when you're young, the globe lies. And he's actually brainwashing you and indoctrinating you at that moment, if you know what I mean. So like, it's actually what you think you're being woke, you're actually closing your mind off to what these guys say, So most of them, like say Nathan Oakley, I'd actually say is actually quite an intelligent guy, if you know what I mean. Like he's not stupid. So how on earth he still believes the earth is flat, I cannot fathom it out, if you know what I mean. So I don't know. He personally is one of the people where I think, does he really now know? I don't think anyone would ever start not believing in flat earth and making a channel to try and make money. But I definitely think there are channels out there now that by now they've realised, but they cannot let their ego go. They feel so high on the pedestal that they're on that why give it up? If they are making a little bit of money out of it, everyone wants to be loved. So if they're being loved, why would they give it up, if you know what I mean? So, yeah. Do you think there are channels out there that actively know that we live on a globe?
I think since I left the community in big style with this evidence, it's exposed those that are actually deliberately lying.
Yeah.
And that is every single flat earth channel out there is deliberately lying. because not a one of them have addressed it properly. Not a one of them have acknowledged it as any kind of proof whatsoever. And either they have got this, what I've been talking about, this remembering and changing things so that they're not actually seeing it. They're not actually seeing half the mountain gone. They're not actually seeing that. They're seeing something different. And it's either that or they're just being completely dishonest. You mentioned before about being woke, right? And other people saying they're asleep, you're awake, right? Well, I was thinking about that about last week, and I thought I've had the best sleep since I've come out as a globe earther, right? And when I was a flat earther, I was awake all the time, but literally awake in my body all the time. So when they're saying, "Are you woke?" Yeah, they're woke, all right, because they're only getting 3 hours a night sleep, you know. And it's true, and they're woke, all right. Yeah, we're asleep. Yeah, we get a good night's sleep. You know?
Yeah. I hadn't thought of it like that, but that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. We'll round it up pretty soon because I know Catz is a very busy man, and I know Ranty is too. I'm having a lot of fun actually, so maybe we'll do it again sometime very, very soon.
Oh, definitely.
Asa, I showed my granddaughters where we live today using Google Earth, starting with the globe in space, then zooming into their bedroom window. They seem to get it, and they are 3 and 4. Yeah, that's brilliant and amazing with Google Earth, isn't it? What's it that Nathan Oakley says? Like, it's just a straight line or something like that. Absolute idiot. But well done, Isa, for not indoctrinating your grandchildren, but for showing them where they live. And that's all the teachers are doing, is showing the children where they live. It's not indoctrination. It's just called being a good teacher. Speaking about good teachers, Ranty. Classic. No, I think we should round it off though for now, guys. I'd actually keep going for hours, but obviously we do have lives away from this as well. I think Ranty is the guy of the moment, so I'm going to let him say his goodbyes last. Catz, do you have anything to shill or to say?
Oh, I don't have anything to shill. Although I will have a video coming out this weekend, but that's not really shill worthy. Just, it's been great, mate. It's been great to be honest. It's been a good laugh. It's just nice to sit and chill out. You know, it's been a nice break from my busy day. I'm back to it as soon as we're done here. I'm going to be back to it. But it's been nice. Been a nice hour and a half. I've enjoyed it. So thanks for having us on, mate. And we'll do it again.
Brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks for coming along, buddy. Ranty.
Yeah, thanks very much for inviting me on tonight. I've been looking forward to it all week, actually. It's a shame that you didn't get a chance to be a guest appearance in the very first video that I put on my new channel. You had the opportunity, but
I'll be the second. I'll be in the second.
You'll definitely be in the second one. And I just want to say that there's a few people in the chat that have said that, you know, that talk about woke and asleep, you know, to them, best explanation for woke ever. I'm so woke. That's a good one, Ranty. So they like that. So
that is brilliant.
So I'm gonna just put my link in to my new channel. I can't believe I've got 433 subscribers in just one day.
Yeah,
in one day.
I remember in your video about me, you were going, "He's got 400 subscribers in 3 days. Come on, guys!" Like, so now you know, mate. Now you know. But no, the globe, this globe side, buddy. You know, there's obviously going to be infighting because humans are humans. But I think, you know, people over this side are a lot more honest, and we're also very supportive. So, as you know, anyone listening now actually should go over there and subscribe to Flirtspective, because he really does, obviously being an ex-flat earther, put that perspective over from inside, like the mind of an ex kind of conspiracy theorist. But sorry, mate, I kind of cut off your outro there.
No, it's great. It's like you literally, this chat now has given this chat and this discussion we've been having has given me my whole second video. I've
Brilliant.
literally written the whole second video in my head in the hour and 49 minutes we've been doing this show.
Nice. It doesn't take a lot, does it? Like when you start talking again, you're like, what on earth? Like, but yeah. So everyone that has come along, thank you so much. We're up to 424 subscribers now. So you're gonna be hitting 1,000. I hope I don't speak too soon, but within 2 or 3 days, I would imagine. I would be very surprised if you didn't. Everyone loves honesty. I shall tell you that much. So everyone that has come along tonight, obviously Catz and Ranty, otherwise known for his channel at the minute, Flirspective, please do. I'm going to pin that actually, so it just stays pinned for anyone that watches this afterwards. It's not seeming to be working. Right. Simon Brayson, Beth Moulton, Isa, Bullet Bill, Jonas Ammon, Filthy Animal. There's a lot of people here that I haven't seen before myself, so make sure you subscribe to me as well. I'm sure you're here for Ranty or Catz, but please subscribe to me too. It's me, Mario, Craven More Dick, and everybody. Thank you so much for coming along.
Craven More Dick.
Yeah. Have you never seen him before? Yeah.
I can't believe you said that.
Oh man, if it was about 3 or 4 pints later, I'd have probably said something worse now as well, but I'm not going to. There's something telling me not to joke about that name. Yeah, thank you everybody. Simon Brayson, was that took Ranty less time than Team Skeptic. Yeah, like Team Skeptic sat there for over a week, I think, just going, thank you so much, Craven More Dick, for your super chat. And he'd never cottoned on. Yeah, so you got that one straight away. But no, thank you, everyone. I'm going to end it. So stay safe, keep it global. Welcome back to the globe, Ranty, you legend. Catz, you absolute legend. Peace out.